Time now.
Okay, I'll unmute and switch to my screen where you, yeah, just since rather than look out the window, that's my view on a day. But today actually is rather, oh, I'm not sharing yet. I forgot to hit the share button. Yeah, that's my view. But not today, because it's very hazy because of wildfires that are generally about couple of hundred kilometers west of us. So am I on? One of the things, everybody see my screen?
Hold on a second. Don, are you still sharing? Hello, Don, are you still sharing? Well, whatever Don said is muted, so I couldn't hear him.
Oh, yeah, I see his screen fine. I'm not sharing.
You still have a gold border around your screen on my screen. I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not sharing, and I see his screen, so I don't know.
Let's call it a win then. On with the show.
Actually, yeah, looks like, Kevin, your screen's got the green thing around it. For me, yeah. One of the things is you can watch this Wi-Fi and Zoom comes up and tells me my internet is unstable from time to time. Well, gee, I think they're sort of time sharing between me and other customers. Anyway, let me get to where looks like somewhere along the line this went dead, but one of the things is actually, I think, for a quick review, first of all, let me hit F. Something went wrong there. Okay, this is one of the things that I know some of the problems are with the IUP interface, which has got some problems with it. I think just for a quick review, let me come over here to, oh, I know that I read some ways to get around the stupid, this little thing comes down. I'm gonna go and remember how to disable hide floating meeting controls. There we go. Now I can see my buttons. I just wanted to quickly review that I've done some interesting YouTubes recently, particularly with this British APL Association talk, which is fleshing out now, should be. A lot of the history, going back to when I first learned of Forth and immediately recommended the thing to do with Forth is write an APL. And this Zero with Zoom that I did is probably the best basic demo of Cosy yet. And I would definitely, recommend looking at the difference between Hello World and Cosy and this Hello World demo in Python. Because by the time you get to Python, you've already gone and created a design in Cosy. But anyway, getting to Cosy, mainly I want to talk about words that are having to do with slicing and dicing, and just a couple of different lines. One I wrote down because CSV format got converted. This equals plus plus goes and finds the phrase, it throws a colon in front and finds the definitions that begin like this. So this is the entire Cosy. Damn, what did I do? I think I just did that. that's one of the things. My universal disclaimer is that it's Cosy's irritation-driven development, and only recently are bugs and bombs hitting, reaching my level of irritation. But yeah, CSV, you see it's actually in this file, which I'm going to go into. But there's the definition of converting CSV to a Cosy list, and from that to a database structure, which is essentially identical to what Arthur's. Overall structure, got a result window. I've got what essentially is my log, and this is my entire development log going back, so I can search that for whenever I was working on something. And down here, I've got useful lines, and most particularly, I want to go and show this line. It selected it selected, oh, I'm hitting F6 anytime you see something get done. So I just selected the name of that file, and this line, R0 always stores the last result. So this is going to store this into a variable named Fn. It's going to file read that, and it's going to return, and it's going to store that and return that. So this is the entire text of that file. Now, R show, which is one of those IUP words that worked this time, brought up that. FT, which is that data. Okay, this is how I edit things now, and this is the furniture file, which has got a lot of functions which depend on the list vocabulary of Cosy, but don't depend on any of the things that are stored from session to session. The whole dictionary that's in there, and but you see some very fundamental words are things that will take a string. You'll see this used all over the place. And let me go, and since it is, if I read something in, here, this is actually one of the things. I finally got a smartphone. I realized that Microsoft and Windows would never go and manage to produce even an inferior but marketable phone. And I also gave up waiting to get a fourth that ran on Android to go and port Cosy to, or induce somebody to help to port Cosy to. So I actually had to do that to prove that Bob Armstrong is the same person as Robert Armstrong. For a brokerage account. But one of the things that I've done since then is I've moved what always was my to-do list. And actually one of the things that sort of is very fundamental, sort of, am I going too fast, or, you know, I sort of feel I might as well get through this and then go and ask questions, or get for questions. But one of the things that I've always done, I keep a to-do list around, and I've always kept that just as a variable in my root dictionary. But now, with having to go and want to move my shopping list to the smartphone, I now am keeping it in a OneDrive thing, and I'm doing essentially the same thing I did there, that pulling up the furniture file, which I'll get to some more of the vocabulary. A lot of the vocabulary in here, time functions, you see, but here are a lot of the string word parsing and dicing. But one of the things is this actually was a rather interesting example, because I've stored it, I've got FT, I can go and edit I keep my shopping list. I just put an asterisk on a word that I need to get, like veggies, or I need cat food, Anyway, that's my current list. And anyway, I can read that. The result is always reads that. So now FT has got my updated whatever I've edited. And this were to go and start, of course, S colon or S quote. I didn't know that that was standard in other things, but that returns a Cosy string. Let me go, and this is one of the things I love about reverse Polish versus APL syntax, is you can chop apart your lines and put in the vertical bar as a comment symbol, and comma L is the Cosy that goes and concatenates two things as separate lists. So now I've got those two phrases. We'll get back and reassemble this line as long as I see, okay, I've got that. And bracketed, I can show the definitions of any of these words if anybody wants, goes and grabs, well, essentially, it grabbed that section of the word of the line that's bracketed by that opening and closing phrase. So that's extremely useful for any HTML or anything else. And I've been doing a lot of stuff on getting out mailing lists recently, and so grabbing the portions of mailing lists that are enclosed by you know, these things is very useful. But now this line, I decided, well, this is taking, the result here got stored as T0, little T0. LF to BL goes and converts line feeds to blanks. And so let me go and throw in a break at this point. So now I've strung the whole thing out actually into actually the APL conference, I realized that a guy who works for Dialogue, we had a conversation and it ended up that I've changed row to what actually is used by K, this splat sign or number sign. So that's 1,074 characters long, all strung out. Then I'm replacing all the horizontal tabs. You see, it's again this portion right here. I think you're probably highlighting that. That goes and again sticks HT and BL and making a 2-item vector out of that. SSR is string search and replace. So it replaces all of those. BL VM splits those on blanks and turns them into a list. Let me go and take it this far. Whoa. Oh, where did T0 go? Or do I have some other? Oh, let's see. Whoop. Oh, I didn't do this line. All right, let me get back here to, oh. Okay, we got FT, oh, there, okay, there. But one of the things you also see, oh, did I want to do that? Now let me go on and see what that comes out to. Let me do the whole bloody line and see. No, that didn't. How could I not have this working right? Because I was doing it earlier. Okay, there's the whole list. There's, I've edited or not edited. There's the bracketed section. And have I changed something here? Yeah, there we go. That's what it should do. In any case, the point that I wanted to make and about the sort of nature of the vocabulary, bottom line, is here this line has gone and selected, or these couple of lines have selected out of my whole list, the ones that have asterisks, which mean I want to, you know, I really need to get them, and the ones that have pluses, which means, well, I kind of can get them. And then for partition goes and takes that result, R0, and turns it into I've sucked out all the things that I really am planning to buy, okay? And I'm just Control F-ing that, F-ing that, and let me go and put a stop in here. So this is my actual list. Let me replace my old list with what I am going to need, and then I go and let me remove that. Oh, let me do that save there. But you can see the nature, and then, okay, now I've written it out to F drive. Now I've got my shopping list so I can pull it up on my smartphone. And to me, this is the highest and best use of a computer, is to just do your shopping list. And that's my gung-ho. Oh, one of the things that got mentioned, we can go into these specific words, vocabulary, but one of the sorts of things, I've got a number of words, like words, which essentially go and cover over the basic fourth word, but convert it to a list. And so you have you can deal with, so I've got 903 words in that list. But again, these words like con, this is kind of tricky. Maybe I should do something else with like in, all the words that, oh, by the way, something that I really like is tick is like parse to white space. It returns the next word as a string. Like to do that, okay, that's, you know, that just, and I find that so useful. I even use it in Facebook things to go and say, I mean the next word. And obviously that sort of is a complement of the other tick, which returns the address of an item. And these sorts of things actually give Cosy more flexibility by far than a traditional APL. But in any case, giving words an empty, zik is an empty string. So there's all of the words that are in the currently available vocabulary. And then I can go and words like con and in and so forth go, this is all of the names of all of my functions which contain in. And actually I really, con is sort of a better thing to go and do because in occurs in, but these are all variations on this general notion of something of give me the items in a list that contain some particular string. And you'll see the variations. Well, C-con, all the CCs are case sensitive, whereas con's not. Con B returns a Boolean of where those occurrences are, and con N returns the indices of where those things are. And when I go over here to, and you can see there are a bunch of parsing words, like, again, the in, which is built on NB, which returns a Boolean, and then not in, and the numbers and so forth, and then various deletion things, which find and delete things, part before the first occurrence of something, part before and including, part after including, and again, getting down to, well, these are the list things, and oh, most of the con words are elsewhere. But in any case, I really want to show that a tremendous amount of the vocabulary of Cosy and an awful lot of the focus of Cosy is on this string slicing and dicing. Like you can see, just you know, the entire, to be able to convert, where's the conversion of, I mean, for bank accounts and things like that. need the CSV conversions to and from, converting to and from HTML, things like that. It makes very convenient. So that's pretty much a quick run through of what this level of fourth is, and being able to go and apply this to the code itself is makes it a very powerful IED or IDE or whatever. Yeah. So Don, got any questions?
Yeah, it looks very powerful.
One of the things that in a sense I want to emphasize for the oh, one other thing I should note on here, when I nowadays have gotten into like this goes and converts month, day, year to the form of a timestamp that I keep my this is the sort of form that I keep my accounts in. Those are executable phrases in, and my timestamps are just floating point numbers. But one of the things is when I update a definition of something now, I'll put down the date on which I did something. So I can go back, because I have this whole log of everything that I've done. I can go back to the day, look up the day that I worked on something. And so, I mean, all of these things, one of the most fundamental things is this splitting on line feeds, for instance, or on essentially any token string, or new lines, and then operating on that. Matter of fact, one variation I should perhaps show, this bottom thing is it's sort of like having everything's a command line, but here, yeah, text. The text is always this text window here. The contents of damn. That's again IUP, because that just happened when I was moving the cursor. So that's why I really need to have I think somebody who understands sockets and all of this stuff can do this in a weekend. But where was I gonna, just the text. Yeah. Here, if I grab that text, okay, let me go and do this thing with, there's all the text, and that's probably 14,000 lines. If I go and I do the line feed vector to matrix, it's old APL term, there it looks pretty much the same, but now each one of those lines, if I go and I look at lines, let's see, yeah, I've got 1,600 lines, 1,660 lines in there. And then again, this is con goes, and here are all the lines that contain end, or whatever good that is. But I also have, and somewhat more complicated word, and I'm not going to go, but dayline cut goes and looks for all of these day lines that are lines like that are like this, that have start like that. So these are all the different days that I did something that contained end. So I can go back and find when I was working on some word or something like that, and find it. So again, again, the ability to work at this, well, let's say APL array level, as evolved by Arthur Whitney and Kay, supplies a very powerful environment, even if what you're doing is sort of, if your target is the fourth coding. Oh, here's something, for instance, that was following, mail discussion, you might remember, where showing what the actual, you know, x86 is that corresponds to those words. And I got one comment. This is the sort of thing that blows people away on the APL level of things, because they can't imagine being so directly connected right to the code itself. I mean, they, I've managed to make a few words of x86 work, but mainly that's the other brilliant guys that were involved in Riva back in the day. So, everybody just sitting there. In any case, that's what Cosy's getting to. It's becoming a very, very powerful. I no longer use, I used to use JEdit to do my editing, but now my editing is just this mechanism. Let's see, what is this? What was I editing? You know, I just, all of my editing now is internal to Cosy, and it still has a lot to get done, and more than anything else, it needs more minds. It needs people to have a use for it or see, you know, and I don't know whether when you're talking about, I know I've done tests on things to see that it can handle up to megabytes, but a lot of this is restrictions that are just sort of, you know, they're not intrinsic in the algorithms, they're intrinsic in just the amount of RAM available and all of that. So any other, you know, what, any other thing that totally mystified people, or some word that that would like to, a particular word or phrase or something that I did that people would be curious to see. Otherwise, one of the things is I would. I mean, the same vocabulary, so far as I can see, would apply to genome sequences. I mean, they're just character sequences, right? I mean, they're just and maybe some megabytes long. I mean, it'd be interesting to test exactly how long sequences. I think most of these words are as efficient as you'll find in any language. You don't have to do the sort of setup. I mean, you go directly into, you've got this vocabulary around. And this is one of the things that my way of attacking a problem is to start building vocabulary. And then when I've got the vocabulary to write in a line or two, then you'll see an awful lot of things also. Just to comment, I mean, I've got a lot of things that I've never made into discrete programs. They're just even sort of sequences of, okay, I want to do this to grab something, and then I'll do something, you know, another line or I'll go in there and modify the line to be, you know, appropriate, whatever I want. Got some things on Pi, got some, because I get involved in, oh, I didn't mean to, I just evaluated that. So I just evaluated that script. So now I've got these words added to my vocabulary, which of course can be one of the words that I keep at the top. Yeah, Zik words. Now I've got Stefan Boltzmann temperature to power and vice versa conversion available, and gravitational force and various other things. So that's what I've been doing.
That was totally awesome. Thank you so much, Bob. I'm grateful to all our speakers today. I'd like to say a special hi to Mas
Hello.
and Dudley and Pat. Hi, Sean. Hi, Ilya.
Good to be here.
So I raised my hand. I tried to hit the raise hand on the thing there. Nobody acknowledged it.
We don't do that here.
Oh, I'm sorry. Well, I wanted to ask you that last presenter, what language was he working in? I've never seen that before.
That's fourth. That's Cosy written in fourth. Go to
All of that code is fourth? Oh my God, have I
Yes.
been away from fourth that long?
My fourth.
Well, but this is unique in the world. I mean, I come from the APL world, and again, 30 years ago, when Ryo Osaki was creating an ampere. Go to Cosy.com and look at the British APL Association Zoom. We did back when my connection was stable, because a lot of those people, both they're old friends and all of that, but it also goes back through the history, going back to literally when the first Tron came out. And I wanted to see it also because a friend of mine, Judson Rosebush from the APL thing, he has the bit part. If people remember the bit that flies around, that's all done in APL and by Judson Rosebush. But in any case, that came out. I saw fourth, which I thought, oh, damn, I wish I'd had this when I was working on a PDPA. I wish I'd been that brilliant, to go and do. But the other thing that I saw is, wow, build an APL in fourth, but I was APL.
Does API, is APL like a programming language, that really early language, or is this just,
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Ah, okay.
And go to Cosy.com, go to my website, Cosy.com.
Yeah, I'm
and
looking at it. I'm looking
bunches
at it right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And particularly, I know actually, if I can share this, I was looking around through some old films, and if I can, I don't know whether I can, is it possible to share screen? Let's see if it shares. Yeah, I found this old picture from 2000. Well, it's not a picture, actually. This is from a video that I'd taken back there. But really, I was just working to bring the Ken Iverson to the game.
Where was that taken at? Was that taken at one of the early fourth meetings?
This was the fourth
That was at
day.
Stanford.
What?
That was a fourth meeting at Stanford, probably on fourth day in 2015.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And this is Chuck. That's,
Okay.
But and so I mean, this is the thing is, I had moved from traditional APL. There was a split in the APL world between Ken Iverson and Roger Hui with his implementer, all going off into J, which is very mathy and has syntactical tricks like forks and trees, which are things like from quadratic forms is really where the whole trees thing. But one of the things that struck me is they're idiosyncratic, and they actually just make things more confusing. Arthur Whitney went in the direction of much more straightforward, simple structures and simplicity. Everything you see here, let me do R. R is my root dictionary, and a dictionary is a list of two lists. Arthur just went to lists of lists, which actually Bacchus had described in the Turing Award. By the way, damn it, we need to have a full court press on to get Chuck a Turing Award. It's just insane, just appalling that he's never gotten one. But Bacchus mentioned Ken Iverson and getting past the von Neumann bottleneck. And I think it was Bacchus's Turing mentioning Ken that got Ken the Turing the next year. But in any case, the 0th column of R is this list of two lists, and the first is names, and the second, which I won't get because there are big items in there, is values. So if I do R text v fetch, that's the fetch. I mean, these words, it's like you have the same fetch and store, but it's sort of at various levels of structure, if you will. But so there's all the same, you know, this is the same. That's how many, and this is row, the count. It's 58,271 characters, you know, that's a string. And like I say, I can go and to do this separately, the most fun of the underlying word, LF. And this is one of the things that, by the way, I improved, if you will, from forth, is you can have any phrase rather than just an atom in there. Now this is split into its 1,664 lines. So, I mean, the thing is that I'd see in doing genomes or anything like that, anything, you know, you've got this thing of splitting it, and then you can say, do it on, for instance, I can go, and let me just save this as a temporary variable. And I can say T1. Now tick, this is the tick, of course, the fourth tick, which is so extremely powerful, that I can say, okay, do that. And the most powerful APL vocabulary is things that say do it on each. So this is do it on each of them. So this is the length of each of those lines, okay? That's how many characters are in each of the lines. So that's the nature of the vocabulary. But again, you see it's fourth
2-minute warning.
Okay. That's okay. That's more than enough. More than enough.
All right. With that, I'd like to point out that, okay, never mind. I don't need to point that out anymore. It's been dealt with. I'd like to thank Bill for being our host and for his presentation. I'd like to thank the other presenters, and hope to see you all next month. I guess we'll pull the ripcord now.
Oh, wait. Let me get the number copy down. Hold on.
All right. I don't think Bill will. I don't have the power to pull a plug, and I don't think Bill will, because he's much better than I.
Okay.
No, it's perfectly
all right.
fine.
Chat saved. All clear. You guys can do
Perfectly
it.
fine. Keep talking about yourselves. This is the.
I have a question.
The program sometimes continues for another hour or so, or the chat. Go ahead.
Are we gonna do a fourth day, virtual fourth day? Are you starting to think about that?
Yeah, I am thinking about it. I think it seems that the way things are going,
Yeah, Stanford would probably be closed.
What's that?
No, given the fact that
the buildings at Stanford will probably be closed in November.
Really?
and not
You guys
only
are still
that,
locked down?
What's getting closed in November?
Stanford is probably still going to be closed in November. And furthermore, even if we had a venue, calculating the average age of this group, I wouldn't want to be responsible for getting together a bunch of vulnerable people in the room and exposing
So
them
that means
to.
that all of the research labs are also closed down, even though they.
No, that's not what that means at all. But
Oh,
anyway, as Bill said, the room will be open and we can talk among ourselves, and I'm going to bail now. So thanks again, and I will hope to see you all next month. Bye now.
See you later.
Next month.
So what's going on in Silicon Valley? Are you guys still locked in?
Yeah. And we got fire.
I was reading about that. California just can't win.
And smoke and humidity.
yeah. Well, I'm glad I moved to Las Vegas.
Yeah, it really is. I don't know. Colorado is bad enough. I finally got. I think I'm. Let me see. Yeah, I've dropped out.
Oh, you're still there.
You're still with
Yeah, I really like Florida. It's gasoline's $2. You can buy